Madhya Pradesh, the heart of India, where from time immemorial the life-sustaining stream of the Narmada has flowed gently down a vast tract of land. Much has changed here with the ebbs and tides of history. But what has remained untouched is the spirit of tolerance and commitment to communal harmony. The cenotaph in Ujjain, dedicated to Durga Das, who battled Aurangzeb for decades, testifies to this. When the Mughals' grandsons fell in the brave Rajput's custody, they were not only treated kindly, but were also brought up in proper Islamic manner. Similarly, Raja Jai Singh's Chhatri in Burhanpur is a moving memorial for his beloved Hindu friend, constructed by Aurangzeb. Countless caravans of traders and contingents of soldiers, scholars and pilgrims have marched through this land, bringing with them a diversity of influences. Contemporary Madhya Pradesh is inheritor to a priceless legacy and a tradition that is thousands of years old. No one has lived in these caves at Bhimphetka for thousands of years, but the colorful wall paintings continue to pulsate with life, telling us engrossing tales, man and animals coexisting and coping with the vagaries of nature. These images document the saga of survival of the human race. A survival made possible by the realization that to live, we must let others live and flourish. The most famous ruler of the Maurya dynasty, Ashok, had a change of heart after the bloody battle of Kaling. He converted to Buddhism, realizing that the greatest victories are wrought by abjuring violence. He commissioned the great stupa at Sanchi. This monument is ranked among the most beautiful specimens of Indian art. The ornate gateways and the richly carved railings depict incidents from the lives of Gautam Buddha, as described in the Jatak tales. The Enlightened One laid great emphasis in his teachings on tolerance and compassion. His stirring words continue to inspire millions and are as relevant today as they were 2,000 years ago. The Garud Dhwaj at Besnagar near Sanchi, erected by the Greek Heliodorus, bears witness to the fact that Hinduism not only coexisted here with Buddhism, but that it also cast an irresistible spell on foreigners. Ujjain, on the banks of the river Shipra, is the realm of Mahakal, one of the 12 Jyotirlingams, most sacred manifestations of Shiva. For centuries it has drawn the faithful like a powerful magnet. The temple precincts are always crowded and resonate with the chants of the devotees. Ujjain is not only a major pilgrimage center, but also a seat of scholarship and an important center of culture. The royal astronomer Maharaja Jai Singh, inspired by the researches of Prince Ulugh Beg of Central Asia, commissioned an observatory here that represented the state of the art in the 17th century. uncompromising intellectual exertions, and the spread of scientific thought have time and again helped people to break free from the shackles of ignorance and communal prejudice. Ujjain has offered its hospitality without any reservation to adherents of different sects. Tolerance, cosmopolitanism, and synthesis have always been the hallmark of the city life. The colorful idols preserved in the Bhartrihari caves bear witness to the fact that the faith of the minorities received veneration from all. The sacred hill of Songiri is adorned with over 100 Jain shrines that dazzle even from a distance. Larger-than-life statues of Tirthankars and the flags fluttering in the breeze echo the teachings of Mahavir, that the greatest of all victors is one who has vanquished foes like greed, envy, rage, and lust. The gigantic images of Jain saints at Khadgiri, near Chanderi, were carved on the sheer rock face much before the idols were consecrated at Songiri. The Gwalior fort dates back to an even earlier period and tells us that this community may have been a minority, but it was always prosperous and significant. The most beautiful specimens of Jain art are encountered at Khajuraho. The walls of the Parshvanath temple here are decorated with fantastic creatures, nymphets, and erotic couples in the same manner as in the Hindu temples of Khajuraho. The site also shows that the Jains had no inhibitions about incorporating elements of Islamic architecture when repairs were undertaken. Hindu shrines belonging to different sects, Shaivite, Vaishnav and Shakt, stand in proximity to the Jain temples in a wonderful display of tolerance and religious harmony. It is not just the breathtaking artistry that makes Khajuraho a heritage site. This tolerant and liberal mindset is perhaps the most priceless part of this legacy. The revered river Narmada emerges at Amarkantak to embark on a unique journey through forest and flatland. She is adored as a loving mother by her children, all those who dwell among her course, hundreds of thousands of people belonging to different castes and creeds. This great river incorporates countless streams and tributaries along its course, presenting an apt metaphor for the cultural synthesis Madhya Pradesh has experienced through the ages. Omkareshwar, a small sacred island on the river Narmada, is another Jyotirlingam and a Shiv shrine of great antiquity. The ghats on the banks of this river at Maheshwar, which at one time was the seat of the Holkars, recall the waterfronts at Allahabad and Kashi. The most memorable name in this dynasty is that of Rajmata Ahilyabai. The compound of the Rajwada here continues to be fragrant with her cherished memories. Ahilya Devi was not only a religious and kindly person, she was also an efficient and just ruler. Concerned about the welfare of her people, she invited Muslim master weavers from Gujarat and settled them here. In the course of time, these immigrant craftsmen became the children of this soil, inseparable from it, like the warp and woof of the fabric they wove. The magic web woven by Maheshwari saris of gossamer silk and crisp cottons illustrates how different communities have collaborated to create sublime art and profitable commerce. Chanderi is equally renowned for its colorful saris. Here too, the world of saris reflects the same harmonious hues of the rainbow that enrich everyday life in Madhya Pradesh. Al-Biruni has mentioned Chanderi in his travelogues as an internationally renowned center of the textile trade. Communal harmony through the ages has provided the bedrock for the prosperity of this industrious town. The Jama Masjid and the Lakshman Temple are sacred to all. Hindus and Muslims take equal pride in their shared heritage. A most striking example of tolerance and goodwill is the Ganpati Vandana on the Malwa gate, inscribed by a local Muslim ruler. Watching the sun set on the ramparts of the fort at Chanderi is a deeply moving experience. The mind strays back almost 500 years to an evening like this, with the sky turning scarlet. With descending darkness, Medini Rai and his band of brave defenders, besieged by the invader Babar, must have realized that their fate was sealed. Preferring death to dishonor, they must have resolved to perform the supreme sacrifice. A small but poignant memorial marks the spot of a heroic Johar. The irony of history is that it was not long before the foreign invaders' descendants became children of Mother India. Legend has it that, enamored by the tales of the beauty of Rai Parveen, Akbar summoned her to his court. But when Parveen made it clear that her heart could accommodate no one else but the Prince of Orcha, she was honorably sent back home. The painted walls of her mansion at Orcha preserve memories of this romance. The seven-tiered Jahangir Mahal at Orcha is a memorial to the visit of the great Mughal to his friend's fiefdom. It is a remarkable specimen of an eclectic blend of architectural styles. Large courtyards open to the sun, ornate pillars, the beautiful domes and balconies combine to make a powerful impression. The bonds of friendship between the Mughals and Bundelas were reinforced during the reign of Jahangir. There are other palaces, smaller in scale, but as beautiful. The paintings on the walls are an integral part of the compelling charm of the buildings in Orcha. The panels depict mythological tales and also provide interesting glimpses of princely life. The paintings revive memories of an era of princely pomp as well as of communal harmony. Once surrounded by dense forests and jutting out dramatically from a sheer rock face, for centuries the Asirgarh fort remained impregnable, with its head unbowed, humbling countless invaders. It was Akbar who finally breached its defences and removed this obstacle on the road to the Deccan. Despite not remaining invincible, Asirgarh safeguarded Burhanpur for many years. The town of Burhanpur, on the banks of the river Tapti, was an important centre of trade in the medieval period. Many Mughal princes, including Shah Jahan, served for long years as military governors and commanders during the Deccan campaign. It was here, in this dosa, that the beautiful Mumtaz Mahal died after giving birth to her 14th child and was buried. Her remains were transferred to Agra only when the Taj Mahal was built years later. The local Muslim rulers were free from fanaticism and sectarian prejudice. An inscription in Sanskrit on the walls of the Shahi Masjid bears witness to this. The climate of tolerance and the culture of harmony attracted people from far and near to make Burhanpur their home. The Gurudwara at Burhanpur has a special place in the history of the Sikhs. A rare illuminated manuscript of the Granth Sahib with the signatures of Guru Gobind Singh is preserved here. The Hakimi Bagh is a major pilgrimage site for those belonging to the Dawoodi Bohra sect. Mandu, also known as Mandavgarh, sprawls across many hills. The tomb of Hoshang Shah was the first building in India to use marble. Scholars believe that the architects who designed the Taj Mahal were inspired by this monument. The harmonious coexistence of pillars and arches, balconies and imposing domes in Mandu illustrates an almost effortless synthesis of Hindu and Islamic building styles. The Grand Mosque, Jama Masjid, and other structures reflect this trend. More famous Mughal buildings built later can be seen as refinements of this style. The palaces in Mandu have seen much better days. There was a time when these corridors echoed with laughter and resonated with the music of anklets. Excitement built up with the onset of the monsoons. Swings were put in place as the notes of Rag Malhar began to soar. The slanted walls of the Hindola Mahal were designed to accentuate the illusion of gently swaying with the breeze. The Jahaz Mahal, flanked by two large ponds, conjures up visions of a barge floating on the waves. Mandu was the favourite resort of the musician Prince Baz Bahadur and his beautiful consort Roopmati. Defeated by Adham Khan, Baz Bahadur was forced to flee and his beloved Roopmati drank poison. The continuous play of light and shade is magical. memories of this tragic romance and the ill-fated lover's powerful presence haunt the visitor everywhere. The two seem to be playing hide-and-seek with the visitor. This is the place from where Roopmati gazed every day at her favorite river, Reva, and was in turn gazed upon by Baz Bahadur. The majestic Gwalior fort, built on a hilltop, is a rich repository of historic memories. Most of the present buildings are not more than 600 or 700 years old, but the ramparts enclose several monuments that date back to a much older period. Teli Ka Mandir is one of these. This, along with the Sas Bahu Ka Mandir, bears testimony to the fact that Gwalior has always been free from sectarian strife. The fort, as it stands today, was built by Raja Man Singh Tomar, a multifaceted personality. This brave soldier was also an accomplished Drupad singer. According to legend, Man Singh fell in love with a doe-eyed tribal beauty, Gujari. He married her and renamed her Mrigneni. We are told that Rag Gujari Tori was born of this union. The mausoleum of Muhammad Ghaus in the city can be seen from the ramparts of the fort. This Afghan noble, it is said, was the spiritual mentor of Tansen. Delicate lattice work in stone embellishes this beautifully proportioned memorial. A much smaller and simpler memorial dedicated to Tansen stands by its side. A tamarind tree provides it with shade. Many aspiring musicians come here in the belief that chewing on its leaves will improve their voice. The world of music has always been free from sectarian dogmatism. The kinship of art knows no barriers. The credit for this goes to the Guru Shishya Parampara. Ustad Hafiz Khan's ancestors came to Gwalior from Afghanistan and received generous patronage from the Hindu Sindhya rulers. This is where he became famous as a sarod player without a peer. His son, Ustad Amjad Khan, has enriched this legacy. Sarod Ghar, Ustad Sahib's house in Gwalior, is today a memorial to all the great masters of Indian music. Maihar too, like Gwalior, has preserved the priceless tradition of composite culture through music. A small temple perched atop a hill, dedicated to Sharda Mata, the patron deity of scholars and artists, dominates the landscape. Devotees throng the temple throughout the day, and the wafting strains of folk music recognize no barriers of caste and creed. The most famous devotee of the goddess has been Baba Alauddin Khan, the doyen of Hindustani classical music. Old-timers recall how even in his old age, Baba climbed the steep hill daily to offer musical homage at this shrine. He did not recognize any sectarian divide and shared his music generously with talented disciples. The memory of this modern rishi lingers on. Like the Akhand Jyoti at the Sharda temple providing eternal light, the musical stream has never paused. It flows on, imbibing a diversity of influences. Folk music has time and again enhanced the poignancy of Kabir, who finally found a contemporary voice in Pandit Kumar Gandharv. Madhya Pradesh has been graced by a number of Sufi saints. These men of peace and compassion have reinforced the tradition of goodwill and harmony. Their memory continues to linger, and their presence is palpable at places like the dargahs at Raisen and Chandela. The Dhuandhar waterfall tumbling down with a deafening roar, and the river Narmada gently gliding past the marble rocks are the unforgettable landmarks of Jabalpur. Present-day Jabalpur evolved during British colonial rule as a cantonment with beautiful sprawling bungalows. The town has a strong Christian presence. What is remarkable is that even after conversion, the children of this soil have remained deeply rooted in it. Their costume and idiom remain unchanged. Some of the churches here have beautifully preserved stained glass windows depicting scenes from the inspiring life of Christ, deeply moving and reinforcing his message of tolerance and compassion. This message echoes in the small street-side shrines, where statues of the Madonna provide solace to the faithful. Different faiths and sects have always flourished here side by side. The Hindu temple, dedicated to Chausat Yogini, is one of great antiquity and famous in the lore of the Tantric sect. The watchtower at Madan Mahal reminds us of the days when Jabalpur formed part of the domain of the fiercely independent Gond rulers. Islam Nagar too was once under the Gond sway. Today, only these buildings blending Hindu and Islamic styles survive to remind us of the princely past of this sleepy village. Soldier of fortune, Dost Muhammad, founder of Bhopal, started his brilliant career from this place. The buildings in Bhopal are far more ambitious than the structures in Islam Nagar. The majestic Tajul Masajid is one of the largest mosques in the land, beautifully designed and exquisitely proportioned. Sublime serenity permeates the vast compound and invites the visitor to contemplate Islam's message of fraternity and peace. There are other buildings in Bhopal, smaller in size, but no less beautiful. The Begums of Bhopal, who continue to be gratefully remembered for their liberal outlook and philanthropic work, commissioned most of these. Bhopal presents a bewitchingly interesting blend of the old and the new. All individual and communal identities are blurred in its bustling bazaars. One is recognized only as a buyer, a seller, or just a window shopper. Glimpses of everyday life provide countless illustrations of the lively cultural exchange between different communities, be it in Bhopal or in Indore. Indore is synonymous with the impressive facade of the Rajvada and the cenotaphs of the Holkar family. This city is renowned for its cosmopolitan ethos and joie de vivre. Seth Hukumchand Jain, the pioneering industrialist who built a textile mill here, is also fondly remembered for his other gift to the city, the Kanch Mandir. Legendary cricket players Colonel C.K. Naidu and Captain Mushtaq Ali are equally adulated. The old is yielding place to the new. Indore, like many other towns and cities of Madhya Pradesh, is on the fast track. It is pulsating with energy and constantly changing. The music of machines is today merging with the soul-stirring strains of Kabir bhajans. And young eyes are dreaming of a bright future, well aware of their responsibility to preserve, protect and extend this harmonious heritage.